Alright everybody, in this video I'm going to share with you my 17-step lean body blueprint. This is exactly the type of things that you need to do if you want to improve on your physique without following some type of crazy diet plan, working out 5 days a week, doing a bunch of cardio, things that you genuinely have tried before and haven't worked out. These are the results from the people who have followed through with this plan. This plan is a generalized concept, just to keep in mind. I'm not going to be telling you that you have to do the same workouts as them, because each one of these people had a different customized program. Each one of these people followed their own specific nutrition guide to help them get the results that they have now. And each one of them have tried something in the past, just like you. They tried doing keto or carnivore, fasted cardio, and a bunch of different plans that never really worked out for them. So these are the results that we got with people just following with a very, very simple custom plan. And I took that custom plan concept and created a 17-step thing that you can follow as well. Now, when you click or copy the link in the description for this video, paste this into a new web browser, and then fill that form, I'm going to send you this entire blueprint, and I'm going to calculate your macros for you so you know exactly how much food to eat. If you're thinking, I don't know how to track my macros, no worries. In the email that I send you, there's also going to be a video explaining step-by-step how you can track your macros properly. This is the same thing that I've been doing for the last 10 years, and it works really, really well. So let's get into it. I'm going to walk through each step in this plan for you here. The first thing, and this may sound a little bit like hippy-dippy, but it's really important that you understand why you're doing this. If you're just coming here and you're like, I want to lose some weight, or I want to be healthier, or I want to just look good, that doesn't mean anything. That's not measurable. That's not tangible. It's not something that you can actually point to and be like, cool, I made that measurable change in my body. So be really clear. Write this stuff down. Make it really present. Make it very real for you. Because if you don't have that, when you get tired and you're not seeing the results that you wanted, because it's not going to be linear, okay, it's going to change over time, you're going to want to reflect back onto the reason why you started in the first place. Every single one of these people did this exact process, and if you're serious about making changes, you need to do that too. So ask yourself questions like, what do I want to see in the mirror in 3 months, 6 months, or a year? Like, how do I want to look when I am naked? Okay, really intimate, personal, very transparently, things that you need to see in yourself to see that you got the results that you wanted. Okay? What will I be able to physically do that I can't do right now? I love that one. I think that that's something that I've gotten the best answers from people when they have answered that question. It makes it very, very clear in their head. Now, initially, the very first thing you need to do is start off by taking your starting stats. Okay, you need to start weighing yourself first thing in the morning. And this is after going to the bathroom, ideally, if you can make that happen, and before you have any food or any water. Okay, when you weigh yourself naked. You shouldn't have your shoes on at the gym, clothes, all this other baggage that is not giving you a clear picture as to what you truly weigh. And if you're going to the gym and weighing yourself with your shoes on and all your clothes, that's just one more inconsistent, vague picture that you're not going to be able to lean on and understand, like, this is where my starting point really, truly is. When you're asking yourself how much weight you've lost or how much you want to lose, saying about 40 pounds, kinda, I don't know, is not clear enough, and it's not important enough for you to actually make the change. So be very clear. Measure your chest, your waist, your hips, thighs, arms. These are things that I get my clients to do when we start working together. Take front, back, and side pictures and do that every week to see how you're changing. Because you're not going to see changes on the scale all the time. Sometimes you're not going to see changes for weeks at a time on the scale. But when you take your measurements and when you take a look at the photos in the last 2 weeks, you'll start to notice changes. And that is going to be really important in terms of you keeping your motivation to keep going with the plan long term. Now, when it comes to your food, the first thing you need to dial in is your protein. You don't need 2 grams of protein per pound of body weight. You probably don't even need to eat 1 pound of your current body weight. In fact, you really only need to have about 0.75 or 0.8 grams of your ideal body weight. So if you're 200 pounds and you want to be 170 pounds, then you need to take your ideal body weight goal, let's take a look at that right now, if the goal is 170, times 0.8 grams is 136. That would be the minimum. Okay, 170 is great. And you could have 200 grams too. There's no problem with that. You could have more, but you don't need to have so much protein that you're downing multiple protein shakes a day and a bunch of egg whites in the morning. That's miserable. It's not fun. It's not sustainable. So be measured with your approach and understand how much you actually need to eat. Some lean meats, chicken, turkey, extra lean ground beef, eggs, egg whites, fish, Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, protein powder, cans of tuna. I keep these foods in the house all the time. Not all of them, but at least a few of them. Because if I have a few of them, I can make some different changes with meals. So for example, if I'm going to have chicken and pasta for lunch, maybe I'll have beef and rice for dinner. Or maybe I'll have chicken and potatoes for lunch, then I'll have chicken and pasta for dinner. Making small changes like this is going to go a long way in you being able to have a creative but also sustainable and really quick, easy meal plan solution for yourself. Okay, protein powder is great. I advise you not to have more than 1 scoop of protein powder a day unless you have a protein goal of 200 grams or more, because realistically, if you're downing 2, 3, 4 protein shakes a day, you're probably just not planning your meals properly and finding yourself looking for a convenience item like a protein shake. Portion control. Right now, you're probably skipping breakfast, maybe having a bagel and a coffee. You're waking up at like way too late and just rushing out the door to work. And then you skip lunch because you're stressed. You don't bring a lunch with you, or maybe you pick up something on the way and it's loaded with calories, but it doesn't have a lot of nutritional value in it. There's not any vitamins, minerals, veggies, that kind of stuff. So you feel hungry a couple hours later. And then once you get home at 6 p.m., now you have a massive dinner, a glass of wine, and then you start snacking in the cupboards afterwards. And that's why you're fat. That's why you can't lose weight. It's not because your metabolism, it's not because you're getting older. It's simply because you haven't mastered portion control. So how can we make portion control easier? Well, when you download this form, you're going to get this video as well. You can click this link. It'll take you to another video on how you can do this better. But simply put, if you were to take your 140 or 170 gram goal of protein for the day and you divide that over 3 separate meals, 170 divided by 3, 56, 60, 70 grams of protein per meal. It doesn't have to be perfect. Some meals can be 40, some are going to be 70 or 80. The point is, hit your protein target every day and try to space your meals out, okay? That's going to make things much, much easier for you too. Building a lean plate. So we talk about building a lean plate in the program all the time because a lot of times if you're just focusing on the macros, like you're just focusing on hitting your protein, and then you have some potatoes afterwards, or you have some white rice with your chicken, super boring, but we're just going to use that as an example, you're going to find yourself getting really hungry. Adding in vegetables into your meal is going to build a lot of volume. It's going to make that meal look a lot bigger and feel a lot bigger in your stomach too. So vegetables being something that's going to be high in fiber, high in vitamins and minerals, micronutrients generally, it's going to make you feel a lot more full and satiated and less likely to binge at the end of the night because your body is now nourished, okay? We're thinking of food in terms of like what we like to eat and the things that taste good, but your body, once you've pushed it past your taste buds, needs to digest and process that food. And if there's not very many vitamins and minerals and fiber, your body's going to be asking for more food so that it can start to top up those vitamin and mineral stores. And if you're eating a lot of processed foods all day, you're going to need to eat a lot more calories to meet that minimum threshold that your body has already predetermined. And how does your body predetermine it? Hunger cues. So if you're eating vegetables and fruits in your day, it's going to help you feel more full. You're going to hit that target that you need to, and it's going to be much easier for you to stay full and lose weight. Okay, that's the key. If you can stay full, you're going to have a great time losing weight. If you eat a lot of processed foods and you're tracking your calories, you'll still lose weight, but how long will you be able to stick with it? If you only want to lose 20 pounds and you don't really care how you feel, which I don't recommend to anybody, but technically you could have McDonald's every day and lose the weight. You're not going to look good. You're going to feel weaker, but it's possible. If you have 50 pounds or more to lose, that's a lot of fucking weight to lose. So eating more whole foods is going to make it easier for you to stick to that calorie deficit for a longer period of time. Really simply put, veggies and fruit on your plate, making big portions with high quality foods is what's going to make it easier for you to stick to. Okay, you need to set your calorie range. Now, this is a quick example. This is a general example. This isn't perfect for everybody, but using this as a little baseline will be helpful for you. Again, when you download this form, I'm going to calculate your macros for you. So make sure when you fill out that form, you're precise with your age, your height. Guys, don't cheat your height. Be specific, be clear, be precise. And then I will send you in your email exactly how many calories, proteins, carbs, and fats you should be eating for your goals, okay? But once you know your calorie range, if you were to do this by yourself, download the app, MyFitnessPal. It's free. I've never paid for it. I've used it for 11 years. When you have MyFitnessPal downloaded, don't follow the recommended amount of calories it suggests for you. Just put in whatever you need to get through the startup process, and then following that, track what you currently eat. Don't change your lifestyle or diet. Just track what you currently eat using the guide that I have provided for you here for 5 days straight. After you do that, then you're going to know what your general maintenance calories are. Because if you haven't lost or gained any weight, and all you start doing now is just tracking your food, you have a clear picture as to what you need to maintain. And then from there, if you want to lose weight, dropping your calories by about 300 to 500 from your maintenance is going to be the next step, so you can see some measurable changes, okay? Step 7, strength training. Some people don't like lifting weights. I don't care. You need to lift weights if you want to look better. If you simply are cool with the exact shape that you have and you just want to get smaller, then you can skip the strength training part. But if you want to feel stronger, if you want to feel more capable, if you want to tone your muscles and look a lot better and see some more shape and definition in your body, as well as just like being more muscular, having more strength, then of course you need to strength train. And you don't need to do a lot of it. I train 3 to 4 days a week. I do 3 to 4 exercises per day. It takes me less than an hour. And I push myself really hard. These are the types of movements that I do. Squats, deadlifts, presses, rows, pull-ups. Very, very general concept. But if we take a pull-up and you're like, Taylor, I can't do a pull-up, that's fine. Go do a cable pull down where you sit in the machine and you pull the weight down to your chest. That movement pattern is the same as you doing a body weight pull-up. If you're like, I can't do a back squat, I've never put weight on my back before, you probably shouldn't go into the gym and start lifting 3 reps to failure. You should probably just go into the leg press because that's going to be the squat pattern. The hack squat is the squat pattern. Deadlifts can be done in the Smith machine. You can use dumbbells. It's a little bit easier / safer if you're newer and you don't know how to have good form. Inside my program, my clients are all remote. I don't meet any of them in person, but they send me videos so that I can see what their technique looks like. I take videos like this on this platform called Loom, where I record their video of them doing the exercise and give them pointers and step-by-step on how they can improve on it, okay? So you don't need to do a bunch of bicep curls. Girls, you don't need to do cable kickbacks for your glutes. What you need to do is lift heavier weights every single week, or maybe increasing the reps, but you don't need to do more than 10 or 12 repetitions. Stick to 6 to 8 and push yourself hard in that 6 to 8 rep range with these basic compound movements. If you get really, really good at a few things and you dial in your food, you're going to see incredible changes. Adding in a bunch of different exercises is going to increase your fatigue, but not necessarily the stimulus. And that's what we want to do. We want to stimulate the muscle. You're going to get fatigued, but we don't want to get so tired from doing 7 or 8 exercises, working out for an hour and a half or 2 hours a day, and then feeling like you haven't really done anything because you just feel burnt out, but you haven't really seen any results. So stick to these compound movements is what we'll call them, so that you can see the best results and get more results for less time. This is pulling the most effective, efficient lever that you can in the gym, is doing these types of movements, okay? Do a variety of them. So if you're going to do like a bent over row, for example, we have rows in here with a barbell. That could be an example. You can do it on a Smith machine next time. You can do it with the dumbbells next time. You can go find a machine that does the rowing pattern as well. Those are all going to be great alternatives. Machines are a great place to start if you're newer. If you're more advanced, then getting into some free weights is going to be great. And I suggest for everybody, whether you're new or experienced, to do a variety of all of them, okay? Now, the other thing is track your lifts. So in my program, people track their lifts with the app. So all they have to do is click Start Workout. They can put their weights in. I create the program for them. They don't have to do any guesswork. But prior to that, and maybe what you're doing right now, is going into the gym and you're just doing some workouts. So if you're just going in and lifting weights, but you're not actually tracking your progress, how are you going to know what's working and what you need to improve on? Maybe you feel like this workout was really hard, but the weight's been the same for 5 weeks. That's a problem. We need to either increase the reps or the weights or the sets, something to push you to make more progress So using something like a notepad would be a great option. I have 3 or 4 different fully loaded notepads that I've used over the years for tracking all my workouts. I track the weights, the sets, the rest, even the rest periods, the tempo, so how fast or slow I'm moving through the exercise. When you track your progress this way, you can be, again, just like at the very top in step 1, being very clear with your goal, being very clear with your progress so that you can have an objective measure of what your success looks like, okay? If you're not doing this, it's a very, very simple step to do. You need to do it, and it shows that you're actually taking that progressive step forward to making big changes. Cardio. Cardio is a tool, it's not a crutch, okay? Don't go into the gym and start off by running for 10 minutes on the treadmill and then going to the elliptical and then the bike or the stair climber and doing it. It's useless. Back to the whole fatigue stimulus concept. It can be very fatiguing, but the stimulus on the muscle is very, very, very low. Even if you feel very tired and sweaty, it's not going to actually push your physique to the next level. So cardio, if you really like running, go ahead. Throw it in there once or twice a week. But if you're already limited on time and you're not seeing any changes, I would recommend stop doing cardio altogether. Prioritize the weights and your nutrition. And then when it comes to cardio, you can simply get your steps up. So if you use an Apple Watch or a Whoop or any type of step tracker, you're going to be able to see what your weekly average is. Increase your weekly average step count by 2,000 per day, and that is going to do what you're hoping it will do when you do cardio. Because you're not probably doing cardio because you want to actually increase your cardiovascular endurance. Now, a lot of people will tell me that. They're like, I want to get better at cardio. But they're just generally really out of shape overall. And then they go do a hike with their friends and like, damn, my cardio is bad. Well, sure, your cardio is bad, but you're also just unfit. You don't take care of yourself. You don't sleep well, drink enough water. We'll cover those steps in a minute here. And if you just focused on some of the basic things, which is going to be the emphasis that I really place on this entire video, then your cardio will increase. When you eat better foods, your cardio is going to get better. When you lose the weight, your cardio is going to get better. When you strength train, your cardio will get better. So only after focusing on moving those big rocks and then going to cardio will you see a net benefit. But if your use of cardio is strictly for weight loss and you fucking hate it, then stop doing it and just increase your daily step count. In fact, one way that I increase my step count is literally pacing in between my sets. So rest for 2 minutes in between each set if you're doing 3 sets of bench press, for example. When you sit up out of the bench and you sit there and scroll for 2 minutes waiting for your timer to go off to do your next set, stop doing that. Get up off of the bench and walk around the gym a little bit. Get your steps in. I will easily get another 3,000 steps a day just from doing that alone. Go for a walk at some point, park a little bit further at the grocery store. Once you get home, go for a 10-minute walk before you step in the house and make your dinner. Little things like that go a long way at increasing your overall step count, and that will drive fat loss down too, okay? Meal prepping. It needs to be just part of your system. Now, I personally hate doing the little meal prep containers and cooking up a bunch of food and then putting this much beef and rice and all this stuff into a bunch of different containers and throwing it in the fridge and the freezer for the next month. I hate that. That sucks because I want to change things up a little bit. Sometimes I'm like, damn, let me put some rice on this, or let me put some cheese on this. And so having those meal prep containers and being perfect, having the exact same thing in the exact same portions every single day can be kind of painful. But if you do a little bit of a variation, what I call batch cooking, you'll be able to have convenient meals ready to go, but still have the convenience of having those meals ready to go by pre-cooking a bunch of potatoes and a bunch of beef and a bunch of chicken and a bunch of rice and a bunch of pasta, having like large storage containers in the fridge where you can pull those big calorie items out and then you can just portion out what you want. Now, maybe you're going to have some pasta sauce. If you're going to have 80 grams, you can portion out 80 grams. If you're going to have 150 grams, cool. If you're going to have cheese with that, maybe you'll have cheddar today. Maybe you'll have Parmesan tomorrow. Having some flexibility there will be helpful. But either way, the important thing is that you're not every day asking yourself to make every meal. For me, I'll make my eggs and toast in the morning because that takes like literally 18 minutes. I've timed it because I eat it every single day. It takes me 18 minutes to prepare and eat the eggs and toast. So I don't need to meal prep that, nor do I want to have a bunch of cold eggs sitting in the fridge that I'm constantly eating throughout the week. That sucks. But I will cook up 2 pounds of beef for the week. Me and my wife will share that, and normally we'll do that twice a week. 2 pounds of beef on a Sunday, 2 pounds of beef on a Thursday or something like that. And that is the protein for lunches and dinners. It's super simple. Do the same kind of thing with your pasta. Do the same kind of thing with potatoes, and make a couple swaps throughout the day with different carb and protein sources so that you can have some variety, but it's still convenient. So you need to do the meal prep. If you don't, again, back to the sustainability impact of this entire thing, you're not going to stick with it. And if you don't stick with it, you're going to do the same thing you've done year after year, which is just stay the same because you're trying to do crazy meal plans following some super strict plan that avoids sugar and all the fun stuff that you want to have. And I'll share with that in a second. You can have that stuff. There's no issue with that at all. Staying hydrated is something that, like, you were told as a kid when you were playing sports. If you have kids, you're telling your kids, make sure you're drinking your water. And we know that we should, and we have a big glass of water or something like that, and we go, oh, damn, like that was really important. I'm glad that I had that. But you're not doing it actively. You're not actively taking measures to stay hydrated. And if you aren't, then you're not going to feel good throughout the day. You're going to be weaker in the gym, for one. You're going to be hungrier as well, because when you drink water, it fills your stomach. Similarly, not the exact same way, but similarly to the way that food does. So one way, little tip for you, that'll make weight loss much easier as well, is after having a meal, immediately pound back some water. And not a couple sips. Fill up a shaker bottle and drink the whole thing at once. And you're going to, halfway through, you're going to go, I don't feel like having any more water. You know that feeling? You're like, ooh, that's enough. Take a break for a second and then finish the water. And your stomach will be very full. And similarly to the way that a sponge works, that food, including proteins like chicken, it will actually soak up that water and expand your stomach a little bit more. And if it expands your stomach a little bit more, and that allows you to stay a little bit more satiated for 1 more hour before your next meal, preventing you from snacking or, God forbid, binging at the end of the night, that goes a long way. So stay hydrated, not just for the fact of, like, we're 70% water, but also because it makes weight loss easier. You're going to fill up your stomach. Drink a lot of water. You know what else counts to stay hydrated? And a lot of people are not going to like this. Diet soda. Coffee is hydrating. People say that it's a diuretic. Caffeine is a diuretic, and that's in coffee, but it's made of 99% water. So your coffee is fine. You can have it. Your diet soda, totally fine. There's 0 calories. It's 99% water. Your water is great. Your bubbly water is great. Drink liquids that have 0 calories in them, and you're going to stay more full, and your body's going to thank you for it too. Okay? Sleep. I have it right here. Buy an Amazon night mask. This is $13 Canadian online, and it was delivered to my door in like 24 hours. I don't know how Amazon does it, but this is incredible, especially if you don't have a really dark room. If you don't have blackout shades in your bedroom and you're waking up an hour before your alarm all the time, or even if you don't actually wake up, your body starts to wake up. So you're still sleeping, but you're not in that deep, restful sleep. Having a night mask can be really, really helpful. And put your phone away. Stop having your phone by your nightstand when you go to bed. Find another alarm clock. Use your watch, or get a cheap Walmart alarm clock that your parents had from the 80s and 90s. That thing that buzzes. Don't have your phone with you when you go to bed, because the blue light and the addiction to scrolling that everybody has, staying up, those 20 minutes, even if it was 20 minutes, which we know it's not, it's at least an hour that we're sitting there scrolling, stop it. Put your phone somewhere where you can't reach and grab it when you're going to bed. Like, chat with your spouse or whatever, just fall asleep. But if you don't have your phone with you laying right with you when you go to bed, you're just going to go to sleep. So do that instead. And if you're still really restless, read a book. Like, read a fiction book for 3 pages and you'll start nodding off. Throw your phone on the ground. It can't be within reach. That's also equally as important as when you're waking up. Because if you're waking up and you grab your phone and you start scrolling immediately, you're killing time that you had to work out, hydrate, make a proper breakfast and lunch for the day. It's these little habitual things that we do every day that set us back. It's not that, again, it's not that it's your hormones or that you can't follow the plan because it wasn't built properly for you. It's because your habits suck. So put your phone away. Keep it out of reach when you're going to bed. Okay? Having some really high quality, easy go-to snacks is going to be super helpful too. This is step 13. So having protein bars, don't have it every day because you're lazy. Have it in the house and available if you're in a rush. And that day when you open up the fridge and you're like, fuck, I don't have my beef ready to go. I can't heat up this meal. You need something before you go. Protein bar, easy. Having some beef jerky. I have a pack of beef jerky sitting in the door of my car all the time, because I don't know if I'm going to be home on time when I planned on being home. Maybe you have an extra stop that you weren't expecting, and now you're typically going through the drive-thru. Don't do that. Just have the bag of jerky, and the next time you fill up gas, go buy another bag of jerky. It's like $15. And if that $15 means that you're not going to go through another drive-thru and blow your calories out of the water and then go home and go, fuck it, I'll restart tomorrow or on Monday. That cycle, because your bad habits are taking over, breaking that by having something like jerky or a protein bar in the car is a super easy little hack. Greek yogurt cups in the fridge, they don't go bad for like 3 weeks. Hard-boiled eggs, just pop them in the mouth, real easy. Protein shakes. Simple, high-protein food items will make it easier for you to stay on track. And the reason why these are all like high-protein things is, one, we've already touched on protein, but two, protein is the most satiating food that you can have. So if you had like 100 grams of protein or carbs or fats, protein will make you feel more full versus fats and carbs. Fats is number 2, and then carbs, in most accounts, are going to make you want to eat more food, especially the processed stuff, because that's just been chemically modified perfectly to make you want to eat more. So having a high protein, moderate fat, and moderate to lower carb diet, especially if you're obese, if you have like 30 or more pounds to lose, it's a really good general practice for you to have getting into it. Another thing, just don't ask yourself to be perfect, because every time that you have tried to lose weight and you've told yourself, okay, this is the time, it's January, here I go, whatever it is, you go from 0 to 100. You cut out junk food entirely. You cut out dessert. You cut out all the sweets, all the stuff that you like to have on a regular basis. And yeah, you should limit those things, and you should make them fall within your calories by tracking your food properly. That's good. But cutting it out entirely probably means that you're going to go from eating 3,000 or 4,000 calories a day down to 1,500. And like we talked about earlier with how you should set your calories and slowly decrease them over time, 300 to 500 versus your maintenance calories, that's the way that you want to go about it. You don't want to just cut everything out entirely and say, I'm just going to eat meat and veggies to lose the weight, because is that something realistically you're going to do for the rest of your life? No. Are you going to have French fries and having some cake, having some ice cream? I have ice cream every single night. I have a bowl of ice cream. I fit it within my calories, and I hit my protein. I do my workouts. I get my steps in. I do all the things that I'm preaching here, and I leave 300 to 400 to 500 calories over at the end of the night so that I can have that sweet treat. That makes it easy. If I can have dessert every single night, then I can stay in a calorie deficit for as long as I need to get to whatever condition that I want to. So don't ask yourself to be perfect, but have a plan in place, something that's realistic for you, sustainable, and stick with it 80 to 90% of the time. That means that when you go out for food with family or friends, you can go off the plan. You're not going to be able to track it perfectly. You'll probably overeat a little bit. But when you compare that one meal out that you weren't able to track and you overate a little bit versus the workouts, the food, the steps, the calorie tracking, the water, the sleep routine, all of that stuff, you're hedging your bets against that one shitty meal by doing the other stuff on a consistent basis. Okay? Plan for social events. Speaking of going out for food. So here's the deal. We're going to keep it really simple. When you go out for food, you almost every single time, unless you're ill-prepared and you go for fast food, which you're going to stop doing that now, you almost every single time know that you're going to go out. So instead of just going out randomly and just eating whatever you want, plan a little bit ahead. Have a smaller lunch and a smaller breakfast. If you normally have 6 eggs, I have 6 eggs every morning. Maybe you do 2 or 3 eggs and 300 or 400 grams of egg whites. So the protein amount from the egg white is going to be the same, but the fats are going to be less and overall calories will be less because you don't have 6 whole eggs. It's just 2 or 3 plus the egg whites. See what I'm saying? So keep the protein high, the same that you always do for breakfast and lunch, but make a couple of adjustments to those portions so that you have less calories overall. If you're throwing ketchup and butter and having 2 slices of bread with your lunch, don't do that. Have the protein portion that you normally have and replace those other high-calorie fats and carbs with some veggies or some fruit, saving yourself another 500 to 800 calories between breakfast and lunch so that you can then go out, have a beer, have the pasta or the pizza or whatever you're going to have, the burger with your friends and family, and not feel like you're totally sabotaging your goals. It's a little way to do some damage control. And then step 15, planning for social events. So similarly to the previous one, enjoy the burger, skip the mayo, have some of the chips, have some of the dip, have lighter breakfast and lunch, higher protein, and then when you go out, if you can, try to track it. If you're going to a restaurant, like if you're in Canada, Milestones, Cactus Club, I'm in Canada. If you're going to somewhere in the States, you're going to Applebee's, you're going to Montana's, those bigger restaurant chains, you can normally find those restaurants and meals in MyFitnessPal. So all you would have to do is simply search up in MyFitnessPal when you're entering food into your diary is Outback, baby back ribs, mashed potatoes, one large beer, whatever the fuck. I don't drink, so if one large beer sounds fucked up, it's probably because I don't drink. That's another thing, is just don't fucking drink. Like, I've told people before, like, limit your alcohol, and that's a good first step. But realistically, like, you don't need to have alcohol to have a good time. It's never been something that I've enjoyed personally. I used to, as we all do, go to parties in high school and get drunk and do stupid shit. But if you're a grown-up, I think having drinks is kind of silly, honestly. You don't need to do it. It's irresponsible. It's empty calories. Just simply meaning that you're getting calories, but you're not getting any protein, carbs, or fat. There's zero vitamins and minerals. It's technically a poison. And all it's going to do is contribute to more weight gain and making you want to eat more, because the more drinks you have, you know what happens after that. You get a bunch of munchies. Review your progress. So like we touched on, I think it was step 2, where you're taking your photos and you're weighing and stuff like that. Do this every week. Set a little calendar appointment with yourself for 30 minutes every Sunday and get up, take your photos front, back, and side, weigh yourself, do your measurements, and check to see your progress. Now you can be objective about your process, because you're tracking your food, you're tracking your workouts, you're tracking your step with your step tracker, and you're being consistent. And when you're doing that, now you can remove the emotional aspect of weight loss, which for a lot of people is very, very, very present. Even if you don't think that it is, you're thinking, oh, I'm working so hard and I'm trying and I'm doing the cardio and I'm doing the workouts, but I'm not losing the weight. Well, stop. Be honest. Be objective. Track your progress, track your efforts, and then you can compare and have a very straightforward, transparent look every single week at what you're doing versus the results. And then you can make adjustments based off of that. Okay? And finally, step 17 is if this is going over your head and you're like, this all sounds great, but you need some more accountability and you just want to take action and get some help. Success like speed, and the less that you're dancing around trying to do it by yourself, and the quicker you are ready to commit to making changes and getting the support that you need, the faster you're going to get results. Just shoot me a message, okay? I know on YouTube it's messaging and commenting is weird. We can't really communicate very well. Go to Instagram, HintonNation_coaching. You can message me there. Find me on Facebook, Taylor Hinton. Here's the website, HintonNation.com. You can shoot me an email from there. There's the message me button or whatever. And we can chat to see if it's a good fit. It's not always a good fit for everybody, and that's totally fine. But if you're serious about making the change and you want to, then let's see if we can work it out. You'll get, again, like a little link here once you download the form. You don't have to. There's no pressure. I don't want to work with you if you're not totally ready. But by all means, you can shoot me a message, ask me some questions, and we can see if it works for you. That's it. Hope you got a lot of value. And drop a comment down below if you have any questions, okay?